people are very kind of ambivalent about if this really works. Is psychic phenomenon, is psychic talent something that you can really discover? So I'm just going to give everybody a few minutes to come on, and hopefully we'll have some of our regulars in tonight. And I have a couple of tips to give you guys for psychic development that, if you are serious about developing your intuition, might help you along the way. So we'll get started in a few minutes. First, while I'm waiting for everyone to come on, I'd like to talk a little bit about the energy and what's just going on this week. We have Pluto going direct on the 3rd of October, and that is a really very powerful energy. Pluto is a planet of transformation. You hear me talk about Pluto a lot. One of the reasons for that is because there's going to be a huge energy shift in January of 2020, and we're building up to it now. And that energy shift is when Saturn and Pluto actually occupy the same place in the zodiac, in the sign of Capricorn. And it's going to be very powerful for transformation. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Marianne. Hi, John. Everybody's starting to come on now. I always wait a few minutes in the beginning of the video, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit boring, but I always wait a little bit because I'm just adjusting the camera because I want everyone to be able to come on and hear the whole video. So Pluto is really activating a lot of things in our sky right now and in our own lives and globally. Pluto is a planet of transformation, but the thing about Pluto is it's not transformation like we ordinarily think of transformation. A lot of times when people think of transformation, they think of changes in their lives and things like that, and that's very important, and that's part of what Pluto does. But mostly Pluto is about transformation that happens before we're born and after we die. So think of transformation in the underworld, transformation in the deep part of our psyche and our soul, our shadow, the work that we have to do in order to really enrich our lives. Hi, Gina. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for joining us tonight in our community. Thank you for coming on into the Zencuda studio. So when Pluto aspects and activates something in our chart, it's very deep. It's not a transformation like, oh, we're going to quit smoking or go on a diet. Pluto transformations are life-altering. They bring to the surface that which you truly value on a soul level. And this is going to be building and building until the end of this year. And then in January of 2020, we have a really big Pluto-Saturn aspect. You're going to hear me talking about that a lot from now until the end of the year. So stay tuned every Tuesday night, and there'll be additional videos as well. A couple of dates I want to run through for you guys really super fast is on October 12th, I will be at the Country House in Stony Brook doing readings. It's a dinner and readings, and there's going to be 2 other psychics. I think I'm with the Spicy Psychic. I've never met her in person, but I hear she's awesome. And that's at the Country House in Stony Brook on the 12th of October. On the 13th of October, we'll do a live video here, which will be our full moon tarot readings. I've been doing live full moon tarot readings for a couple of months now, and I know you guys love them. And that's where I do the tarot readings for the full moon, which will last 30 days through every sign of the zodiac. So stay tuned, get your questions ready for me to answer on Sunday the 13th. And then I have a really big event coming up, which I'm really, really excited about, and that is at Gemelli's at Bergen Point. It is a gallery reading featuring just myself. I'll be there for a couple of hours doing the whole audience. It's food and drinks and wine and a celebration of just gratitude, hopefully, for the month of November. And that is at Bergen Point at Gemelli's November 7th. You can get your tickets through Babylon Breast Cancer Coalition. You can go online to Babylon Breast Cancer Coalition or on Facebook, the BBCC, and tell them the event you want to do. Tell them you want to join Georgia Rose on the 7th, and they will get you tickets. I believe they're going to be $55. So definitely book early. That room holds a lot of people, but I am hoping that we fill it up because all of the proceeds, aside from a couple of expenses, will be going to Babylon Breast Cancer Coalition, and that is a cause very, very dear to my heart. As you all know, I am a survivor, and a lot of my healing work is done for the ladies who are in breast and gynecological cancer. So for those of you who want to have a little bit of an afternoon or night out, I think it's a Thursday night actually, so it'll be an evening. So join me there. And there'll be other things coming up. On the 8th of October, I have a workshop I'm doing about angels and astrology. So if you're curious about who your guardian angel is, depending on your birth sign. You can sign up for that. That'll be online this week. So hi, Lori. Hi, Judy. Hi, Chris. Thank you all for being so supportive. And we're going to get right down to the psychic development, which I know is why you have all tuned in and you're all curious about that. So psychic development, it's kind of a controversial topic because people always say, well, can you really teach someone how to be psychic? Well, that's really not what psychic development is about. And I'm speaking solely this evening from my own personal experience in developing my psychic ability, and also in what my beliefs and experiences have been from this more than a lifetime, because it's been many lifetimes for me, developing these gifts and my psychic ability. So I don't believe that you can be taught how to develop your psychic talent. I don't believe it's something, there's no parlor trick or anything like that. But there are exercises and there are some logical things that we can do that make us clearer and more able to really tune in and connect. I'm often complimented on my ability to do that. And what I can tell you is it's very, very hard work, but not the kind of work a lot of you out there are probably thinking about. It's not a matter of having a spiritual practice and doing things every day the same way, or, learning how to read tarot cards by what the cards mean. Spiritual development is really an inside job. It means that you're going to clear out your life. So when I teach spiritual development, I only do it one-on-one. I mentor certain people because I truly believe that everyone is different and their talent is different. So the things and the intuition that you're going to work with them on is different. So if you're trying to develop your psychic ability, the first thing you should do is establish a dictionary of what things mean to you. And the first kind of misconception is people will try to read or try to tune in, and they'll see something in a meditation or they'll get a message and they won't know like exactly what it means. And they'll say, Spirit, show me what this means, show me what this means, or what does this mean? And they'll go to their teacher or their guru. And it's actually the opposite of what you should probably do. The way I developed my dictionary, or the symbols and signs and things that mean things to me, even when I read tarot, is I told Spirit what they meant. So, for instance, if you are beginning to read and you're just learning how to read tarot cards or I Ching or anything, and even if you're just doing, spiritual communication without any tool, when something comes in and you don't know what it is, what Spirit and your guides are asking you to really do is assign that something. For instance, I have twin niece and nephew. And so from the beginning, when I started to read, I would oftentimes see them in a reading and I'd say, why is this happening? Is it because of their names? Like, am I supposed to know that name is the name of something in this person's family or something? And then I realized after I assigned it, and I said, okay, Spirit, when you show me those two children that I know are twins, that is my symbol for twin. So that's how I developed my dictionary. So when something comes into your third eye, your mind sight, a dream or a meditation, like for instance, you're always seeing a horse or something, you assign that what it is. You don't ask your guide or Spirit, what does this mean? What does it mean to you is how you develop your dictionary. For instance, horses, to me, when I see a horse, symbolically means freedom. Oftentimes when I see a horse image and I'm reading someone, it means they may want to be free of their relationship, things like that. And you'll develop an intuition that way by really learning what the dictionary is based on what you make it to be. Like, for instance, you might have a grandmother and she has a very unusual name. So maybe that's your symbol when she comes in for somebody with a very unusual name. Or maybe it is a symbol if you had a relative who used to bake something special. Maybe that symbol, when that relative is in your mind's eye, is a symbol for baking. So you get my drift. So the first misconception about psychic development is that you're going to go somewhere and someone's going to teach you the meaning of things. It's not. Everyone's dictionary is different. When I read tarot cards, the cards mean something completely different from me than they might mean to a different reader, because I was not taught to read tarot symbolically by exactly what the cards mean. I was taught to read tarot symbolically by what the cards mean to me. And that's really the way you do things psychically and from your own intuition. So just remember that as a first step. If you're trying to develop, when you see something intuitively, you know what it means. Don't allow someone else to be your authority of what your dictionary is. You have to cultivate it yourself. And it's the same way with numbers. I have certain numbers that are very symbolic for me that would mean other things to other readers or other people. But for me, those numbers mean certain things. For instance, I think I've said it before on video, when I see the number 18, that's the name Stephen to me, because I had a lifelong friend named Stephen and his birthday was the 18th. And I know when he comes in or he's showing me 18, he's showing me the name Stephen for someone. So it's just, that's how I've developed the dictionary. When that I started to see that symbolism, that's what I assigned it. And now that is what it is. So I hope that makes sense. If anybody has a question about that, please come in, because I know a lot of people spend a lot of money to go to a teacher or a guru to learn something by rote, or to learn something, this means this, X equals Y, almost like an algebra equation. And it's not going to work that way. It's going to work by what those things mean to you. And that is your own intuition, which you feel and is like the mouth of God speaking to you. It's the same way when angels come in for me. And I suggest to do that for yourselves if you're trying to learn how to communicate with angels. Different angels do have a meaning, and you can research that, but they'll also have a meaning for you. Like when Archangel Gabriel comes in for me, he has a beautiful copper color. And I know he's coming in to give me a very high message from above. When I see Archangel Michael, I know to be very cautious and to really have situational awareness, because there's something coming in that may be a threat to me, because he is my protector. So you need to assign yourself what things mean, and only you can do that. And that's why I say it's a lot of really hard work, because you really have to tune in. So there's certain things that I call my non-negotiables and psychic development. And there are things that I learned after many, many years of developing my own gifts and my own talents, and going back and thinking about how I came to understand certain things and how I came to really be connected the way I am. And there's certain non-negotiables. I'm going to go through them. There's actually 3. And the first one is to release anger. And the reason why you have to release anger and go back and really forgive a lot of the wounds that you have, if you're going to do any kind of psychic work, is because your readings will be tainted by experiences that you've had. For instance, if you're reading a lot of people in relationship work and you've had a really rough time in a relationship and you're angry about it, everything you read will be that. You'll be down on the guy. You will favor someone else. You'll think someone is unfaithful if that's happened to you. So you really have to heal a lot of your wounds, because you need to read people with integrity and purity, and absolutely clear ground zero slate when you see someone sitting in front of you asking you to deliver a message. And if you have any kind of unreleased anger or unforgiven situation in your life, that's going to come through in your reading and taint that. And when you do that, you're screwing up karma, because you're taking on the karma of something in your situation and placing it in theirs. And that's a really big no-no in the world of the universe, and a really big no-no in universal law. So before you read anyone, before you go into this kind of stuff, you really have to be healed a lot of things in your life. We're never 100% healed, right? But you don't want to have bitterness in you about anything in your life, whether it's childhood or marriages that have failed or relationships or whatever it might be, parental, whatever. You have to heal that. And that's one of my non-negotiables, is if I am having a situation in my life that's making me really upset in a negative vibe, I will not read anyone. I won't do a video. I won't read. I won't do healing work. I just will not, because I know it's not about me. It's a bigger picture of the world, and the healing and the things that people are coming to me for is so very important that I can't allow my personal negativity to ever taint that sacred space. And that's the amount of integrity you have to have when you're looking to do some psychic development work. So release anger, heal wounds, and that's huge. Sometimes that takes us a couple of years, but we have to do it before we put ourselves out there to be a healer, to be a reader. And of course, we're all going to have work to do. We all are works in progress, and we're never completely done. But I look at it as like a Broadway show. When I'm got work to do and I need to meditate very deeply or spend a few days in solace, I close the curtains and I don't do my work in the spiritual world, because I need to do some work backstage. And that's really important. So release anger, first non-negotiable. Second non-negotiable is clear clutter. And this is a huge one, because I don't just mean clear clutter like make your desk neat. I mean clear the clutter in your life, the people, the things, your environment, your office, your home, at your car. When you have clutter in your life, it's symbolic of a cluttered mind. And if you're going to do any kind of psychic development work, you can't have any kind of clutter, whether it's a cluttered environment or cluttered mind or cluttered, space, everything's in chaos, because you don't realize, number one, how much energy goes to that stuff. Every time you walk in the room, you're thinking about you have to clean it up, and you just expended like all this energy on that could have gone to the task at hand. The other thing is you can't have a clear connection with your spirit, with your soul, with your guides, with your angels, with God, with spirit. You can't have a clear connection if all this stuff's in the way. I had one teacher one time that likened it to a radio antenna. And if like the radio antenna has a lot of stuff or interference, you can't get the station, right? It's the same thing with life. If you've got a lot of clutter, you can't connect. You cannot connect. And that chaos will be in the way. So one of the things that I do oftentimes is I set an intention, and I do this for each one of my non-negotiables. It's a little different for each one. Like for the one that I mentioned before with the releasing anger, I'm just reading my note. I always set my intention with my guides and my angels, and I say, I attract harmonious relationships, interactions, and situations in my life. And it's the same thing with the clearing of the clutter. I say, I attract simple essence around me without chaos and clutter. And that simple little prayer will keep you kind of clear. But clearing the clutter is a long process. I probably got rid of clutter, and I'm still getting rid of some clutter, but my house and my environment are very serene. It takes a long time, because every time you go to clear, you're going to clear more. It comes in stages. You're not ready to let go of certain things in the first time around, maybe even the second time around. Then the third or fourth go around, you finally get rid of some things. And that's just the way it works as we clear our past. But the reason why you really have to declutter your home and your workspace is obvious. Like I just said, your energy goes to that. You don't realize how much you expend it. And then the energy's there instead of focused on the connection. But it's also because when we have clutter in our lives, we are actually telling the universe that we want more of that. So if we have chaos and we got a porch full of junk, the universe is just going to keep giving us more junk because it thinks we like it. We've shown the universe we like this stuff around us. It's the same way if we attract wounded people that we can't help, or addicted people, or people who are in low energy and anchored there. We're showing the universe that we like to have that stuff around, so it's just going to give us more and more of it. So the non-negotiable number 2 is clear the clutter, or as I like to say, clear your porch. Sweep the porch clean. Sweep, sweep, sweep that porch of anything that is not good for you. Only surround yourself with the things you love and the things that are joyful, because that raises your vibration, which helps you connect. And then the third non-negotiable for psychic development is limit media. And this is hard because I know a lot of us are addicted to guilty pleasures, right? Hi, Janine. Anything from the Real Housewives to soap operas to violent movies. You know, we get sucked into these energies because they can be exciting or attractive or provocative, right? So you have to limit that. You have to start making conscious choices because you want to raise your vibration. And I noticed that when I started to do this and really limit and eliminate a lot of media in my life, that suddenly when I was in the process of like someone else's home and I was in the process of watching a movie that was more violent, or the Real Housewives now, when I hear them, it sounds like chihuahuas to me. No offense, Real Housewives, you're all beautiful. But it's just, I don't have arguing in my life. I don't have bickering. So when I hear that, it's extremely offensive to my body. I feel like, I'm so desensitized. So when you vibe really high and then you hear low vibration like that, it's like gritting. It's like chalk on a board, because you're used to serenity. You're used to having the clear path to what you do, say, and think. So when we clear our media, think about what you're listening to, what it makes you feel like. And would that be a feeling that would promote your intuition from coming through? Would that be a feeling that promotes you in connection with spirit? If it's not media that does that, it's probably something you want to eliminate if you're really trying to develop your psychic ability, your intuition, or any kind of healing modality. Because raising the vibration means getting rid of low vibration. And that would be violence. It would be the clutter we just talked about. It would be the anger that we hold on to. And that's the other reason to eliminate media in your life, because that's offensive. Because when you're holding on to any kind of anger or wound and you watch that kind of stuff over and over and over, you don't realize it, but you're stroking your wound. You're allowing yourself to feel angry. You're allowing yourself an outlet for those negative feelings when in fact you should be just working through them so you don't have them anymore. And so that's why when you see people who get addicted to those violent things and they think they're really cool, it's probably because they have some unresolved anger or jealousy or negative emotions, and watching those things gives them the opportunity for their psyche to like act them out. And we don't want to do that. Not if we're going to be doing healing work. So try and make your home a place, especially that becomes blissful and ideal, a serene place, a sacred place. Whatever it is that you love, pictures of those things or colors that you love. Don't be swayed by trends, be swayed by what really resonates with you. And when you do that, you release anger, you clear clutter, you limit your media to things that make you joyful. All of a sudden, your intuition blossoms like crazy because your vibration is high and you can find it so much easier to connect. And when I was doing that in my life and really worked hard to do that and clear that, I actually got shocked at how easily the psychic ability and the intuition and the healing modalities came to me. It was actually amazing to me that was able to be done. And it really was because I cleared out my life. So I always tell people when they always come to me, they say, how do you do what you do? Or wow, how'd you know that? Or how'd you do that? How can I do it? And I truly believe we all have the ability to communicate with the other side, to see spirit, to hear ourselves very deeply, to hear voices, to hear angels, to get channels. I believe we all can do that. It's just a matter of clearing our life out enough so that we can get the frequency to do it. We have all this stuff in the way, call it distractions, call it clutter, whatever you want to call it, cravings, right? When you can sit in a chair with nothing on, no TV, no potato chips, no ice cream, no texting, no phone, no anything, just sit in a chair and be with yourself, you will get a message from your soul. You will get a message from your mind. You will connect your mind and your heart. The trouble is, most humans don't even take 5 seconds throughout the day to do that. But you need to do that. And one of the tips I'm going to give you before I take questions and sign off tonight, because I'm going to do a part 2 of this, is use your breath. I say this often. I say it in the mindfulness classes that I teach. The most important relationship you will ever have in your life, we will ever have in our lives, is with our breath. The first thing we do when we come into this world is we breathe. And the last thing we do when we go out of this world is we breathe. So if you don't have a relationship with that, everything in between is worthless. So by using the relationship with breath, and finding the space between breath, there's this tiniest fraction of space between your in-breath and your out-breath. And we don't even realize it, but it's there. And if you can focus on that and learn to focus and allow that to anchor you, you are 80% of the way to psychic development. Because it is in that little space, in that real, in that connection with soul and with the breath of life, God, spirit, whatever you believe, that is where your intuition begins and ends and speaks to you. So if you can do all those 3 non-negotiables, release anger, clear clutter, and limit your media, and then take a few minutes every day to sit just with your breath, I will be very surprised if you don't start getting messages from spirit, messages from yourself, and messages from anybody around you that wants to speak to you from the other side, because that's really what it's about. And you can go to a lot of psychic development places. You can tell me, oh, I can't meditate. That's BS. If you can breathe, you can meditate. And if you're looking for meditation, Stephen Taranti is fabulous at it. Look him up. There's plenty of psychic development classes around if you really want to go that route. I don't disparage any of that. There were some that helped me. But if you're really serious about developing your gift, it's an inside job. You have to do it yourself. You have to really be committed and diligent about clearing your life out, releasing what doesn't serve you, and spending time with yourself and your breath. That's really the secret, you know? So if anybody has anything that they want to ask me, I am here. Kim Shiano, she knows. Kim's done a lot of work, same type of stuff. And I love Kim. I'm actually going to be going to her for Reiki soon. There's only certain people I allow to do Reiki on me, and Kim Shiano is going to be one of them. I actually am excited I have to call her for an appointment. So next Tuesday, I'm going to do part 2 of psychic development and actually give you some exercises to do if you want to go that route. But everything that I just said is like gold. And I don't say that from an egoic place. I'm just telling you 12 years worth of work just to learn this. So I just shortened your learning curve by like a decade. So take it and use it, please. So does anybody have anything they want to ask me? It doesn't have to be about this. It could be anything in the spiritual realm. I love to answer questions because I learn from you guys. And I want to just thank you all for, participating in our soul space. It is Zenkuda. Please, please, please subscribe on YouTube, because as soon as I get a certain number of subscribers, we'll be doing these videos over there. And I really want to do that because it gives us a little bit more leeway in being able to chat amongst yourselves and things like that. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, I'd love to hear. Oh, thank you, Kim. You are a shining, beautiful star too. So, and these videos are always saved, so you can play them back. So while I'm waiting for some questions to come through, I just want to also talk about a couple of things that are happening astrologically this week. I think a lot of you are going to see some changes in your life as Pluto goes direct and transforms us. And as I said before, the transformation of Pluto is very much transformation before we were born, before we got here, and then after we leave, but of course enacted in our lifetime. And Pluto likes to do things behind the scenes. So just know that. So things will probably happen that, might surprise you, especially this weekend, the 5th and the 6th. We're going to see a lot of changes happening, especially in relationships, because we're in Libra, which is all about relationships. But I guarantee by Monday morning, you may feel differently. So don't act too hasty this weekend is all I have to say. I actually have a family dinner planned, so I hope that goes well. So any questions, any comments? You're all so quiet out there today. Hi, Emily. Hi, Teresa. Who else is out there tonight? Janine. We've got a full house. So anything else you guys want to know about psychic development? Do you have any questions, or does anybody want to participate in anything, tell me a story or anything? If not, we're going to sign off tonight. And also, what I want to talk about before I sign off is divination tools, because I really do believe that there are some tools that can really help you with your psychic ability. And by divination tools, we mean tools that help you divine knowledge or divine messages. Divination tools are, I can talk about the ones I personally use. Cards were always a big one for me. Before I actually learned tarot, I used to use oracle cards a lot. And I will let you guys in on a little secret. I don't know if I should do this. All right, I will. My media girl might kill me, but I'm going to tell you. I have a set of oracle cards coming out they're actually in publishing right now. And I designed them and made them, and I know you're all going to love them. I'm actually going to gift them to a few people on a pre-sale, and they will be ready probably for purchase by Christmas time. And I think you're going to absolutely love them. And the reason why I did them is actually for just what we're talking about now, is that I feel like the oracle cards very much open our intuition and give us messages. And if we're not really heavily developed psychics yet, if you're in the beginning stages, the oracle cards really open you, and they're a great divination tool. So if you don't have any cards, I would say go out and buy a set. The ones that I'm making are going to be wonderful for that. But oracle cards open us. They open us to possibility and intuition by making us think about the signs making us think about what we're seeing, what we're feeling when we look at certain pictures and photographs. And so that's a great way to open your psychic ability. The other divination tools I would say are crystals, are very, very great for opening, especially certain crystals that help you really develop your intuition as far as making you more open and responsive. And that's going to be different for everyone. There are some crystals that work great on for certain people classically, but there's always crystals that are going to resonate with you. Like I'm very heavily resonated with amethyst, and it's purple, it's violet. I work in violet light. It just really, there are certain pieces in my personal collection that when I use them to read, I'm just so like energized. And everyone's different. I have one person who does moonstone. So, whatever, kind of fool around with crystals a little bit. When I say fool around, I mean, go to a crystal shop and run your hands over the different types of crystals and see if you get a tingly feeling in your palm or a warm or cold feeling. That's the crystal that's speaking to you. And it's the same way with other things like any kind of crystal, but any kind of metal, copper, gold, things like that. Sound, singing bowls, things that have a resonance with you. I have a root chakra crystal singing bowl. The crystal singing bowls actually resonate with me more than the brass. So experiment with things and really tune in, because every time you tune into a feeling, or especially in your energy centers, your chakras, that is you developing your psychic ability more, because you're tuning into that energy of what's resonating. So that's what I wanted to say about divination tools. And also, don't ever stop using certain tools. I'm always looking for new things. This past summer, I started to get into drumming, and I'm a little obsessed with that now, which I always get a little obsessed with something and then I pull back on it. But the drum for me just opened me up. The messages I get when I drum are unbelievable. So don't ever stop looking for that tool that's going to open you further and further and further, because everything, whether it's the cards or crystals or sound or candle working or whatever it is, it responds to a certain frequency. And as we're developing our psychic ability, we're all at different frequencies at different times. And for some reason, the frequency that I'm at right now really resonates with the drum. There were different times with crystals when I could wear certain crystals and couldn't wear others because of my frequency. So as you do this work on yourself, you're going to find your frequency has to resonate with the tools you use, and that's why it's ever changing. So just remember that, because that's also something really important. Purple plate. I don't know what that means. I don't know, Mel. What does purple plate mean? He's saying. Yeah. Thanks, Judy. She said, you go, girl. Thanks, Judy. And Marianne says, am I ever getting my head straight? You are, Marianne. The fact that you asked that question means you are getting it straight. Confusion, welcome confusion, because usually that's a sign something's about to change. And also, Marianne, try to change your thinking. This is one thing I work on all the time, is because it's like a lifelong struggle. Change the dialogue. Change, like, instead of saying, am I ever going to get my head straight, say, okay, I know this is all a process for me to get my head straight. I know this is all work I have to do to get my head straight. Like, be really positive, like it's already happened. Whenever we're trying to get through something or manifest something, you must act as though that energy has already happened, because it has. Hey, Cannoli, how are you? I love seeing my friends. I feel like I connect with you guys so great. Hey, Georgia. So everybody send each other love right now. I'm going to do something, and I wanted to do this last video, and I didn't get to do it because I'm going to try and keep these videos like 30, 40 minutes. I want to end this video with a little bit of a meditation for all of you. And if we could all just take a deep breath, shed off whatever happened today that wasn't so great, and think about everything that is great. And I want us all to just connect with everybody right now that's watching. Kathy, Judy, Laura, Mel, Kathy Cannoli, Marianne. I know there's a lot of you out there that don't even come up on my feed. Janine, Kim, especially, Kim Rose, Barry. Anybody that's on this feed right now, I want you all just give love to each other, because we really are creating a community, Zenkuda. The word Zenkuda is a word that I have trademarked. It is a word that means we are really Zen, but we're really powerful. We are Zenkudas. and we are living life based on our soul and allowing that energy to bring us forward. And since this is a psychic development video tonight, what I want to do is really open myself up psychically, emotionally, heart-based, my love for all of you. And I'm just going to like send that energy out to all of you out there tonight with the intention that you feel it and give you a little healing. And whatever in your lives is causing you distress, dis-ease, annoyance, anger, jealousy, I'm going to ask the beautiful planet of Pluto to come in tonight. My beautiful guide, Saint Germain, the violet light. And I'm going to ask those beautiful energies and those forms and those essences to come into each and every one of you right now and give you peace, give you joy, lift your frequency and elevate you in the beautiful violet light, just to feel like you're floating in violet light right now. And I'm sending that out to all of you. Beautiful white violet light. And I hope that you all can feel that and use that to develop your intuition, to anchor yourself in the beautiful love that is in the universe. And remember that this community is about that feeling. And I hope that you all have that joy and that you feel that tonight. Beautiful. I can feel some of you sending that back to me, and I have to say that that is one of the most beautiful things I've ever felt. So thank you so much. And I'm just going to answer a couple of questions, and then I'm going to sign off. And please, please do share, like, tell people about this beautiful community of Zenkuda. Like us on YouTube, Zenkuda Official on YouTube, and of course here on Facebook. Going to answer a couple of questions before I sign out. I got to find him. I'm sorry. I'm in a different vibration now. I can feel that. Yeah. Okay. Somebody asked me a question about Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus right now, so you will have sudden unexpected changes. But make sure they're good ones. And you can do that by just filling your life and your heart with love. Get rid of the clutter. I can feel the love that you guys are all sending me. Laura, Joanne, Kim. This is a beautiful circle, and we're doing it virtually. And I love that. And that's really my mission with this beautiful space. So please do have a wonderful evening. Take this beautiful energy. I can like feel it resonating in my heart chakra right now. It's just so joyful. And I'm going to leave you with this tip. It is a great time for candle gazing. And what is candle gazing? Light a candle, sit back, and just gaze into it and see what comes for you. You can do that with fire as well if you have a fireplace in your house or outdoors. So do some candle gazing, do some fire gazing. And the next time we meet on Tuesday at 7 p.m. on these lives, I want to hear what you saw in the flames. What was brought to you tonight in this beautiful love, this beautiful environment that is Zenkuda. So I am going to sign off before I start to shed a couple of tears. And David, what did you just say, David? I know you're out there. Dave Matthews. Oh, birthday. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. October 1st. Wonderful. Happy birthday. Everybody send David birthday energy. Positive energy, Mel. Absolutely. And there's Ron. Everybody send Ron some love. Ron always blesses us with his beautiful music. So thank you all, everybody. And this is the energy that I source my life from. So thank you so much for being a support. I love you all. If you want a private reading or healing session, you know where to find me. Just message me here. And please do like and share these videos. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m., if not sooner. Thanks so much. Good night.